gonna laugh. I might cry and I'm gonna wanna tell you why, because hey, well that's just life. So do do do, do 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 do, do 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 you, and I will do me. Ew. Okay, for real. Okay, testing, 1, 2. It's my golden hour. Whoa, guys, I'm standing in, oh my God, I look like crap. I'm over here like, I'm standing in front of a big picture window and it's like golden hour right now and the sun's hitting me. I look like I just rolled out of a cave. The cave woman that I am. But I just wanted to give you guys like a quick positive, I don't know, just short little episode to lift your spirits a little bit, because last week was the week from hell, literal hell. And if I, wow, I just look just atrocious. I quite literally would not be here today if it weren't for, what got me through last week. Oh, welcome to Ill for Real. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. We're gonna get deep, guys. Guys, I'm standing in the living room of my friend's house. I gotta hurry up and record this like real quick because they're probably on their way home and I'm gonna be so embarrassed if they see me. Especially because I'm standing in front of their picture window and the sun's coming through and I'm all like, I look so cute. It's golden hour. I think I look hot. No, I look hot and bothered. I've made a separate TikTok page for Ill for Real, my podcast, where I can post little clips so you guys can see like my setup and where I'm at. And this golden hour, I look like literal bardage, basura, trash panda. But golden hour makes everything up here better, a little bit, slightly. I do have mini microphone today, so the audio is obviously a little bit better than I was going to say last week's episode, but it wasn't last week, it was last time's episode. So I just want to keep this short and simple and sweet, and then there will be another episode this week to come and a more in-depth conversation. Parasocial relationships, and then I'm going to get into like all of the stuff that I've been hiding and hoarding to myself and keeping a secret in my private life behind the scenes. And give you, my phone, give you guys some good episodes that are very informational and, I don't want to say educational, informative, and what's another word for, helpful, inspirational, what's the word? Oh my God, literally every episode I'm like, what's the word for helpful? Boop, 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 boop. Informative? Informational? I literally can't think of the word that I'm like, but you know what I mean. I'm not an educator, I'm not a teacher, but I have a bunch of stuff that I think I am talented at and I'm good at, that I can help you learn about new things and how to do certain things and tips and tricks. And back in the day when I first started this podcast, I really wanted a lot of it to be about, how to decorate your home with thrifted, vintage, and antique items, but look classy, well taken care of, even modern. How to better organize your space and give yourself a functional living space and practical, but also very cute and not trendy. I'm not a trendy person, but stylish, I guess. I catered to your style with just some basic, home decor, home design, things like that. I have a lot more of that stuff to come, and I'm very, very excited about it because I feel like I love listening to podcasts where you're actually learning something. And I do try to put a little bit here and there in my episodes, sprinkle a little bit of just knowledge or past experiences that may help someone that's going through the same thing that I'm going through. Again, I have not started my subscription only episodes, but I plan to soon here. The only other thing I was thinking of doing was, if I don't do subscription only episodes on the podcast, would you guys rather me do an OnlyFans for that type of content? I know you're like, whoa, 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 OnlyFans. Yes, some people do OnlyFans for cooking videos, their secret recipes, special workout videos that they don't want to give out for free. So you got to pay for that content. And for me, I would like to use a platform of a sort for this type of content that I really want to release out into the world, but for people who really want it and who are not just listening to be chismosos, to be nosy, to use information against me, to spread gossip within my close family and friends circles. You know what I mean? But all that to say, thank you to all of the new subscribers here. Anyone who has found my podcast or followed along other platforms of me talking about the podcast and who have supported and sent me messages and who have stayed here loyal and consistent. I really, really appreciate you. I am very excited for what is to come for the podcast as far as audio and content and visual and video content, subscription only episodes, home decor, Airbnb. I know. There's just so much we got to talk about. But for right now, welcome. I really appreciate you being here. If you hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world to me. I hope to help inspire or encourage you in some way. What you're going to get on this podcast is goofiness, hopefully sometimes guests. A lot of times my little sister, she's 15, just for your information, she's with me on these podcasts just because she's just really sweet and has a positive attitude, and we goof around and we have a lot of fun. I've been wanting to have more of my friends and family on these episodes just because I like picking at people's brains. I like having real conversations about real things that people don't typically like talking about. But for some reason, in a podcast setting, when there's a microphone and a screen in front of you, it kind of gets people like, okay, let's get serious. Like, let's really talk. Let me think about what I'm going to say, knowing that this is going to be put out into the universe, and actually talk instead of, yeah, oh, I hate when you like try to have a conversation with someone and they just don't get into it. They don't pay attention. They're on their phones. We're distracted because we've got, the environment around us, or we're driving, or there's kids, disrupting or interrupting. And there's just something about a podcast that gets people actually deep in conversation. And I love that. And I hope to have more of that. I hope to interview people, like strangers on the streets and in antique malls. If you've been following on any of my platforms, you know that I love thrifting and antiquing, and I just want to do all kinds of creative things, and I'm trying to balance my life with these things and being on the internet and the stuff that I've got going on for my wedding business and being a human being with severe depression and anxiety, which is new to me. Depression, I've always been depressed, but anxiety is a new freaking thing that I just love it. It's the best. But I had somebody on a TikTok recently ask, because I was just doing like a silly ASMR video, and they were like, can you do an ASMR telling me that I'm not a failure at life and that I'm going to be all right? Like, it would mean a lot to me. So I posted this video on TikTok in response to them, and it was goofy. I like putting a humorous twist on things and being a little bit satirical, but I was being serious and genuine. If you're here, you found this randomly, or you're listening to this because you're loyal, if your ears are listening to this, it's because it was meant to be, and maybe you need to hear it. But I am not even going to get into my worst and best parts of the week because that's going to be later this week's episode. But I truly have not only been through the worst depressive episodes for years in my life. Like they get really, really bad. But this past week was so bad. I have not been suicidal in a really long time. And I truly feel for those of you who are struggling with these horrendous, horrendous, just so dark thoughts. And if you don't have anyone to vent to, cry to, hug, lean on their shoulder, text, call, talk to an imaginary freaking person on the other side of this screen, this podcast to me is therapy. You know, if you don't have some sort of outlet, a therapist, a family member, I feel for you, and I just don't want you to be alone. I don't want you to feel alone. Honestly, I seclude myself, and I go into my little tiny hidey hole, and I just don't really want to talk to anyone or see anyone. I'm already bad at responding to text messages and phone calls and stuff, but I'm even worse when I'm like this, and I have lost so many people in my life because of it. And of course, again, I mentioned parasocial relationships. We'll get into that in the later episode. But I don't even really know what it was that got me out of this depressive state. I'm just very much a type of person who needs to feel it and let it out. And not everybody has the chance to do that in the capacity that I do, because you have full-time jobs, you have to go to work, you have to slap a smile on your face, you've got to be there for your kids, you have to force yourself out of bed because there's another human that you're trying to keep alive. And I don't have that, and I understand that that's a privilege, you know, of mine, not having kids or a regular daytime job, you know. So I don't even know really how to be there for you. My heart and my soul was just aching, not only for myself, but imagining, I'm trying not to choke up here. Like, imagining, like, even just across the street from where I'm living right now, down the road, in the next town, in another state, across the country, somewhere in the universe, like somebody going through what I was feeling, if not worse, and being alone. Like, it is the worst feeling in the world. And I just wish that there was something that I can do to help those people, to reach out. I know I always say you are more than welcome to message me. Please send me a DM on Instagram. If I'm not following you or something, it will go to my requests folder. But I still check that every once in a while, and I try to respond to everyone. And I am not the best at that. I try my best, but even then, I don't feel like I've done a great job at even like saying something special or unique to help the people who are reaching out. You know, I sometimes I just can't find the words, or I don't have the mental energy or capacity to respond in a way that you need, you know. But I hope that you know that if you're seeing this and you've sent me a message, or you do send me a message, and I have opened it up and it says I've seen or read that message, if I clicked on it and just liked your little comment or responded with an emoji, please know that in that moment, I am sending a prayer. I am sending positive vibes. I am reading every word. I'm also a very, I'm not anxious. Like, I have anxiety, but I'm not an anxious person. I'm a very big, like, overthinker. So I've literally read your message multiple times, especially when you send me a book, you know. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I can't believe, like, what you're going through or what you're sending, or if you're sending positive vibes and you're just thanking me for putting out content in the universe. I have read that message multiple times. I have felt it and resonated with it most of the time. And I just want you to know that you are seen and you are loved. And if I have not responded to you in any way, you are seen and you are loved. And I'm literally preaching to you right now about this, and I don't even listen to myself or follow my own advice. I literally did not want to be on this earth a few days ago. Like, to be honest, many days of my year, probably like 360 of my 365 days of a year, I don't want to be here. I, like, truly, like, that's just me being honest. but I know that I am worthy of a good life, of love, of loyal friendships and family members and partners. I know how passionate and loving and giving I am, and that I deserve that, and that I deserve so much in this world, and I feel the same exact way for you. But it doesn't matter how much somebody tells you that when you don't feel it, and life is just so heavy and deep and dark and hard and stressful, depressing. Like I understand and I get it. And I don't want to depress you in this podcast. I want to uplift you. So I'm hoping that future episodes will do that for you. You being here and listening to this and following along in my life journey, what I am willing to share means the world to me. I don't know what it is about this podcast. I'm not speaking to a licensed therapist. I've actually, and this is not a braggadocious thing to say, but I have never been to therapy because I couldn't afford it, or I didn't have insurance, and or I wasn't using or wasn't able to use my resources. And literally just speaking into the stupid tiny mic and talking to you guys, or posting on my stories and getting your comments on my TikTok videos or Instagram is not like a what's the word? Again, what's the word? It's not a like a stuck up word. The word for stuck up, conceited. That's the word. It's not in a conceited way. It's not like, oh my gosh, they love me. I've never felt like that. Do I like attention? Do I need and crave attention? Yes, obviously. Anybody who is putting themselves on the internet in any way, shape, or form, whether you want to admit it or not, is because you like attention. You posting a selfie, you posting a picture of your cute ass dog, you posting a picture of your new fit, like that is seeking attention. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. And for some people, it's not a good thing because they take it a little too far. But it's not in a conceited way. You guys just lift me up, and I feel like you're all my friends. And going live, especially, like I went live on TikTok the other night and I just was not feeling it. I didn't want to entertain. I had the worst week of my freaking life before that. It was not as successful as I thought it was going to be. You know, I thought the night before I had gone live and I had 500-600 people in my live stream while I was sitting there eating hot Cheetos on the screen. And then the next day it was like 17 people. And my brain doesn't realize, Jenny, imagine a room, you're standing in a room and there are 17 people smushed on a couch and sitting on the carpet in a room listening to you talk or watching you talk. It's kind of crazy and creepy to think of. In the world of social media, you're like, oh, ew, she only had 70 people in her life. That is still to me like the sometimes most embarrassing because I don't know who it is that's in there sometimes, but also the most, I don't know what word to say for this again. It makes me so honored and like proud that you would even want to sit and watch me in a live stream. Even though I can't hear your voices or see your faces, you are speaking to me in the comments and I just feel like you're there. It's like that feeling of body doubling, which there's pages on TikTok and YouTube that I've followed for years where we just keep each other company. Or like when you're FaceTiming your best friend, you're just FaceTiming your best friend, and you're washing the dishes, your phone's sitting there on the ledge of the window while you're washing dishes. You're not even talking to each other. They're vacuuming, you're scrubbing your tub, and the phone's sitting on the counter. Why are you on FaceTime with your friend? I don't know, but something about it makes you feel better that somebody is there. There's the presence of another human, and it is so comforting. If I'm not doing any of these sorts of things, when I'm cleaning or doing something busy or painting or whatever the case may be, I have a podcast playing or a YouTube video of someone's podcast. Most of the time it's XO McKenna. It used to also be Colleen Ballinger, but we'll get into that later. Something where somebody's speaking to me or talking to me because I don't want to feel alone. Driving in the car, do I listen to music? Nope. Am I a musician? Yes. There's something wrong with me? Of course. Do I drive in silence? Yes. If I'm not driving in silence, because I've got so many different personalities in my fucking brain, then I'm listening to a podcast because it feels like somebody is keeping me company. Or I like call a family member to just have a conversation with them, and it just makes you feel less lonely. And all that to say, ramble, can't imagine not having that in my depressive state. Not being able to lay in bed and sleep for 12 hours in the middle of the day because getting up to pee is like the hardest, most difficult sounding task in America. And I just was really feeling for you guys. Something in the universe, like the energy around me and my soul. I don't know how to explain it, but something was like, oh my God, like if you could see how I feel right now. I don't know what it was, but my body, mind, and soul, just all of the energy around me was like, I just felt like I was in a placenta of terrible emotions and feelings. Like I could just feel in my depressive state this like overwhelming sense of like everybody right now in the universe, or somebody that I know, or the person across the street. I don't know who it was or why I was being sent these feelings. I just felt encapsulated by pain. And I was just feeling it. I was feeling it so hard for myself, but for other people. And something in my body and in the universe was just telling me to, I don't know, just put something out there of positivity and encouragement and support and thankfulness and gratitude and love and light and life. And like I said already a million times on this episode, not being able to sit and feel that and sit through my depression and then call a friend. Like there's people out there who don't have that in any capacity, and I don't know how they're doing it, and I don't know how they're surviving. But if you are here, I love you and thank you for going and pushing. And even though I don't want to be alive so much of the time, I've had friends and family be like, Jenny, thank you for being here. We love you. We support you. We see you. We hear you. And I just like scoff and roll my eyes at them, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But then I think of like, if some stranger were to walk up to me on the side of the road and be like, I just really don't want to be here right now. I don't want to be alive. Like, I would never say to them the things that I've said to myself in my brain. So I love you. Like, I know it's probably weird hearing that because you don't know me, and sometimes it feels weird saying it. But when I say I love you, unless I know you personally, which I don't know, there may be friends or family of mine on here that listen to this. If I know you and you're in part of my life, obviously I love you for real. But if I don't know you and you hear me say that, I mean it in a way of like, I love that you're here and I appreciate your presence and I appreciate your support and just who you are. It's not like I'm like rich or famous or even really making any money online right now at this point in time, but I hope to be able to continue this social media presence of mine and a life online, and the things that have been of income and support in any capacity to me wouldn't be possible without you. I can do this because you are listening and you are watching and you are following along and commenting and interacting, messaging me. All of what I do online is basically because of you guys, you know? And I don't have to continue this life. I was just talking to one of my friends today. I don't have to stay on social media. Sometimes I'm like, you know, I really don't need to post. I don't need to be online. I don't have to be an influencer or a content creator. I can stop if I need to, if I'm overwhelmed, but I genuinely do enjoy doing it. I like being creative. I like being goofy and funny and inspirational and, you know, making you laugh and being here as a virtual, in ways, shoulder to cry on for those of you who may or may not resonate with what I'm saying and can relate to the things that I've been through or explained or gone in depth about. And I want to continue being there for you in that way because you are here for me in the ways that you are. And for that, I love you. But most importantly, guys, I know how hard it is. I know we don't want to, but there is a reason that we are here. I have to believe that. I don't necessarily know exactly where my faith is or what it's in at this point, but I have some sort of faith and hope in the fact that I'm here, and because I should be. I don't really believe in the whole like everything happens for a reason. I think that's total BS, and I cannot stand that. If you have sent me that in a message or something, or as a form of encouragement telling me like everything happens for a reason, thank you. I appreciate what you're trying to say when you say that. But I don't think, I don't know. I don't think that that's necessarily true. Some things really just don't have to happen to people, and we just get the short end of the stick, you know? And that's just not something that I say to encourage myself to keep going because it's just so cliche, you know? But there's a reason in general in life that you you were led here, or that I was led to be posting this, and something is up ahead of us that is the reason that we are here and still going and trying to go despite wanting to or not wanting to. And I don't know what it is yet, but I am right there with you. If you are a happy, positive, non-depressed type of person, I am very, in the least toxic way, very envious of you. I would give anything to be able to wake up and just feel genuine happiness and just a desire to keep going. I just have not felt that in a long time, but I appreciate you being here and spreading the words of positivity out into the universe that you have, because a lot of us here need it. We need it. We need you. I love you for that. And everybody who is struggling, you are not alone. I am here with you. If you need anything from me, virtually online in a form of encouragement, please reach out and let me know, because I do not want you going through anything like this alone. Don't forget to love yourself above all. Thank you for being here, and I will see you guys soon. Then I said bye, puta, in the best way possible.